Good day and welcome to the web conference of IBM India Limited. Topic for today's webinar is how to prepare software requirement specification. Today's conference is being recorded. Speaker for today's call is Mr. Yuktesh, who is the Technical Specialist for IBM Academic Initiative, Andhra Pradesh. The introduction to his talk will be given by Mr. Lawrence Mohandas, Regional Manager, South and West, IBM Academic Initiative. Please go ahead, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you, Nora. Good evening, good afternoon, students and dear faculty members of all the colleges that are participating in the Great Mind Challenge 2012. Since this is a one-way voice at this point in time, I really can't understand or feel how you are and what's going on the other end. But I guess that there is a lot of enthusiasm if I were to go just by the number of people who logged in well ahead of time. So thank you very much for being with us and for taking time off from your busy examination schedules and trying to understand how an SRS can be given. So my job here is to introduce this session which Yuktesh is waiting to take us through. A couple of points that I would like you to just think through while you are busy taking down notes of what may come through by way of an instruction. You find on the deck, those of you who have a computer in front of you and are not just listening to the audio lines, you'll find a caption there, India's biggest technical contest for students. Now, some of you may not be aware that this is a declaration not made by Yuktesh or Lawrence, but this is a declaration that has been made by none less than the Limca Book of Records. Okay? And this was made way back in 2009. And that was because of you students and your preceding batches who came inside and made it a rocking success. Today, as we moved on from 2009 and did a 2010 session and 11, last year in the 11 session, we crossed the 200,000, the 2 lakh mark, thereby, making us feel that it's the right time to actually go and talk to the Guinness Book of World Records and make our claims for, considering and verifying and validating that this indeed could be the world's largest. So right now we have an endorsement from the Limca Book of Records, and so that is what you would find here. So you who have come now and registered yourselves and are looking at trying to see how we can put a good SRS together, you are going to make this happen. You are already making it happen. And so we people from IBM on this side of the telephone really feel very close to you, and we feel excited, and we share your enthusiasm and your excitement. I have moved the slide deck to the first slide there to give you a quick overview on what we are trying to do today. The focus of the presentation would be, apart from covering the registration process for those of you who would like to, take this news to others, there are some newer ways in which we can look at registration. And then what is really different and new this year in the 2012 session of TGMC. And what would be the focus this year as we, get on with the contest, and what are the obvious timelines and the milestones that we're looking at. And then Yuktesh will take us into the details of how to make a good SRS. I've moved on to the next slide. The Great Mind Challenge 12. What is the Great Mind Challenge all about? What are we really doing here? Is it just another contest that IBM is thinking of to throw open to you students for as if you don't have enough contests running? No. There is something very unique about the Great Mind Challenge. And this is our objective of trying to bring in a whole lot of competencies to the table. Let me get a little bit, it's a bit heavy at this point in time, but let me quickly give you a definition. Of what learning and training essentially do when you start practicing. when you go and sit down and learn topic after topic, let's say a DB2, a Lotus, or a Tivoli storage management, or any of these for that matter, you are increasing your skills. But skills in themselves, certified or not certified, just means that much. When does it actually start making sense? It's only when you start practicing. It's like watching a movie, a How to Swim DVD, and actually jumping in at the deep end of the pool. So here you are at the threshold of jumping into the deep end of the pool and starting off with your SRSs. So now we are talking about the Great Mind Challenge being presented to you as an opportunity for each one of us to take a look at how we can build our capabilities. Today, the industry is looking for people not with the largest number of pages in their CVs and biodatas, but they're looking for people with a fairly good CV, but more importantly, with the capability and the relevant capability and experience that is expected of in students even as you start your corporate lives. And so TGMC to this extent has made some wonderful strides, and it continues this journey of capability building. And this is your golden opportunity, and it is yours to seize it right now. Do understand that it is a nationwide contest. Do understand that it is, at this point in time, open to engineering and MCA students, but we've also had this opened to the corporate world, and there is a version like this is the students' version. There is also a Great Mind Challenge which has another edition. Okay, so when it comes to what we are doing here now, it's a here and now situation for us. You have already gotten yourselves into teams of 2s and 3s and 4s with a faculty member to mentor you. So that continues. You will choose a project scenario from the TGMC website, and then you would have started to think about it. How do you go into the details, and how do you develop this? What should be the outcome? And in this whole thought process, this webinar is going to definitely make some contribution to your thought process. Okay, and what is lying ahead of you is that once you have completed this with the submissions, and if you are selected and shortlisted, come through to the face-to-face evaluations, there is this wonderful time at the end of this whole cycle of the contest where, like year on year, we gather together and have the award ceremony. I have personally participated in the last 2, and some of my colleagues here have participated in much more than 2. It's been some of the most profound moments for us IBMers to see so many youngsters like you coming up there and being recognized for all the hard work that you have done, the innovative streak that has been given some expression. And with regards to TGMC 2012, we did a couple of things. We got stuff coming through on the Facebook because that's the place where youngsters like yourselves spend a lot of time, and so we decided that we should have an application there as a least as an option for people to get inside. When it comes to your resources, you would have heard that there from your previous batches, from your seniors, that you could go online and check out some tutorials and some lessons, some online help, and those have increased in depth and in width. So there's lots more of technical resource capability that is available in this year's TGMC 12 portal. And today's seminar is the first among a couple of, we are planning at least another 3 more to go in this series, these bridge webinars, if you like. And you do know the rules with regards to the usage of software. We're not saying that this must be a 100% IBM only kind of software usage. The middleware tools of IBM, we encourage the use of it and the maximum use of it, but we also want to make it very clear that students can use open source as well to complement and supplement some areas that they may not be very familiar with. So a 100% IBM only project work or at the other end of the spectrum, 100% open source. Neither of them are ideal. Okay, we'll be very happy if it can be 100% IBM, but then we don't really push. You need to know one thing loud and clear. At least one IBM software is required. Okay, and then the rest can be from open source. And please note, it can be from open source only. IBM, minimum one, open source, the rest. And any ratio in between that. Okay? And the last point on this slide that I have up there for you is important, and I need to spend a moment on this. For the first time, what we have done, and that's really something that we feel we should highlight in a conference like this today, in a webinar like this today. See, at the end of the day, all this capability building that I spoke of a little earlier, what is it for? It is basically for you to go and when you're facing the interviews to join the corporate world, you're going to be telling that this is what you've done, and this is what you feel you know and you've acquired. And so when it comes to that, it's basically industry facing. It's the confidence that you portray when you talk about a subject, when you talk about something that you have done or could be doing. And so for the first time, instead of giving you just various topics and project topics, we call them project scenarios or project challenges, instead of just giving you stuff which we could cook them up in our minds from an artificial point of view, this year we have got a good mix. While we continue to have a whole lot of them which are possibly from the labs, we have got a good number of them that have come to you from the industry directly. So, for instance, if you know that the giants in the industry today, be it an Infosys or a TCS or a Wipro or a HCL, these are all business partners of IBM in varying ways, in varying degrees. So from the big and mighty names that I mentioned now, or the not so popular names, there are a whole lot of partners of IBM. In one word, they are all the software industry. Okay, so from this software industry, we've had a number of contributions which we have taken and brought inside here. So now when you are picking up a topic, you may well be doing a topic which has been contributed by one of these software industry leaders, and that makes you and puts you in a much more prepared manner to face them at the point in time when you need to. So the focus for the year, for this year's contest, would be on this industry component. Okay, so while we have all these contributions that have come from and the participation that has come from the industry, okay, they would even in some cases step on to provide mentorship to the teams, okay, that have come up with a good and submitted a good SRS. Now, it's not possible for some of these companies from the industry to pick up all the respondents and mentor every one of them. That may not be possible, but at least the best ones will be mentored directly by the very software company that has given us. And this is again not an across the board point, but it is one probability for which you need to be in touch with us, and we would come back to you. Okay, now in terms of this mentorship, this is not meant to replace the wonderful mentorship that we have witnessed in the past, that comes first and foremost from your own faculty members right there in the comfort zone of your campuses. It's not meant to replace, it's meant to complement, it's meant to supplement. Your first point of contact will always be your dear faculty members in your own campuses. It's over and above that you will have this additional help coming your way from these topics if they are from the industry. And in some cases, what would happen is that these industry majors and these industry veterans would want to actually come and sit and participate in the evaluation, not just as an observer, but as an active person evaluating what you are having to present there. Okay, it could be also as a passive observer, but nevertheless, they would be present there, and that should be telling you volumes about what their intentions could be. It could be just to see, judge and feel how it is, and possibly, take away some messages from there. And it could it could mean a whole host of things to many people. The moment you are there performing, presenting with confidence, a very potential point which you have very innovatively brought forth as a team of 2, 3, or 4. Don't forget there's someone in the gallery there watching, or someone in the jury there who's very keenly listening, and who must be having some talent acquisition objectives in mind. So these are some of the probabilities, and these are some of the possibilities that we could end up in this kind of a situation. And then when it comes to timelines and milestones, I would warmly recommend that you continue doing what you're doing already, which is staying focused and on what's happening on the web, okay, and on the portal. We would be coming up with these timelines. You know clearly that these SRS submissions would be over with by the end of this calendar year, 31st December, and the submissions at the end of March, and so on and so forth. So you will have the major milestones are the SRS submission, which is just a few weeks away, I would say. Then the project submissions, followed by the first round of results, which will lead to the face-to-face evaluations and eventually the final results. And so this is what I would have wanted to share with you from a point of view. And therefore, I am now about to hand over the floor to my colleague Yuktesh, and let me just check if technically he is online to be able to get into this. Okay, friends, we have a small technical snag. My colleague Yuktesh, who was online, just got thrown out technically by his machine, so he's just getting back in. I really apologize for this. Any amount of dress rehearsals Okay, so just a moment. I have to give it just a few long moments. If not, we have another option here that I would exercise, but I'll just give it another 30 seconds or so to see if he can actually get through. So recapping, 2012, you are part of a very important part of the whole history of TGMC, when it started off with a few thousand students and has moved all the way up to 2 lakhs. You know, it's a long journey, and for you students, you are about to, most of you would be in the final years. A good number would be in the pre-final years. Whichever way you're at the portals of the corporate world, just about to begin a journey which will last you a lifetime. And I remember this wonderful saying that was, given to us when we were graduating, and that a journey of 1,000 miles always, no matter how long the journey is, 1,000, 2,000 miles, it always begins with one step. And I wouldn't be underestimating it if I call this TGMC 2012, for those of you who have chosen it, as that one small step that you are taking in a journey of 1,000 miles, in a journey of a lifetime, in a journey of a career that will be very rewarding. And so here is where you have a chance to move your skills into capabilities. And I'm sure that my team out here and every one of us at IBM, along with your faculty and the other mentors from the industry, are all on standby, wanting and willing to help. Operator Nora, Lawrence this side. Is there any
Yes,
way
sir.
by which you could control, pass voice control to Yuktesh, who has